here's a news flash for you. Mel doesn't need my help.
I absolutely adore Doc. He's brilliant, he's clever, he cracks me up every time he speaks. He's charming, and I swear to God, if you are gonna scorn like a Scotsman.
Have you seen any of her videos? Or is this just the thing that you're trying to do this divide and conquer, that Mel needs my help because I have testicles for some reason?
Howdy, everyone!
How are you?
I always feel really inadequate after that intro. You know, for a minute, I'm like, I feel like Dave Lee, and then it's just me, and it's, shit. Not again. Great to be back. And we have a fascinating guest. Welcome to the family.
Thank you. I think you're talking about her, though.
No.
I'm a host. You're a guest. This is the third time you've been on my channel. It's like, I need to get you a t-shirt.
Pilot higher and deeper, man.
Yeah.
I know.
Would you like Me and My Elk Believe in Satan? We've got that one.
Love it.
We got also My Elk Are Pantheists. We got that one too.
Ooh, I like that one too.
Yeah, I checked with my elk, and they're like, "Nah, we're not really into that."
No, not really. No.
But we are going to be talking, I understand, about some interesting animals of interesting types tonight. Is that correct?
I believe so. I honestly believe
Cryptozoology.
Cryptozoology.
Yeah. So this is the third time Dr. Steven's been on my channel. We've been on the Saturday Science show I have. We talked about science education and the issues and things associated with that. We've talked about how horrible PETA is. We did that once. Yeah, we talked about how they lie a lot, and they also kill lots of animals and stuff, which isn't cool.
More than they say.
And then
PETA are they're the ethical treatment of animals guys, right?
Well, they're supposed to be.
Yeah.
We know otherwise.
Oh,
yeah, it's unfortunate because, a great cause that reasonable people are very easily, brought into, and we should be interested in ethical treatment for animals, but just not the way they do it.
You got it.
Yeah. And so today they do. Hopefully they'll get better, but I'm not going to hold my breath. I think I'd sooner believe in Bigfoot than put my faith in PETA at this point.
Well, I think every organization, perhaps Freudian, every organization has an extreme wing, and it's a kind of a function of the motivation that you get some whack jobs involved in it. Unfortunately. But Bigfoot, I'll buy into that. Sounds totally legit to me.
Completely legit, huh?
Totally happened. Yeah.
Only that lack of evidence and stuff.
Is Doc's audio okay? Is he too loud? Well, I don't know if he's too loud.
No, that's just how I am, and that's how I am in real life. So I'll just calm it down a little bit. Sorry. I was going to say, in Iceland we have trolls and elves.
Yeah, I've heard.
Yeah, they're all over the place. But
there are certain roads where you can drive by and you can see the little elf houses or troll houses.
That's right. And there's an ordinance in that place. It's the town called Hafnarfjordur, or Hafs Harbor, City of the Elves, that they were moving the big stones that are meant to be the elf houses, and all their machinery got fucked up regularly. So they went, nope, we're building a big loop around all the stones. That's what we're doing, and everything was fine. So conclusive, I think, proof of the elves. Trolls, on the other
Well-
hand,
I don't run over the rocks.
no,
I just move
Yeah.
them
don't do that.
because it'll tear up my equipment. So was it the stones
Yeah.
that tore up your equipment?
No, I think it was actually the mischievous elves, or maybe the Icelanders. It's difficult to know. The trolls, on the other hand, they're more of a nuisance, you know.
Do you guys have gremlins? I know gremlins were a thing during the World War, dismantling planes and stuff. So maybe it was gremlins messing with your equipment.
Or do we just have different names for the same phenomenon? I wonder.
Probably
How
that.
did they get on the wings?
I guess they hide in the little nook and crannies, and then they come out, and then they just unscrew. There was a whole bunch of Looney Tunes cartoons,
Yeah.
long time ago, where it showed the
Little
little
guy with little
gremlins,
ears.
like
Yeah.
yeah. And then they
The
had
little,
like
the
Hitler
little
flying
Germanic
the plane
gremlin guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, oh my
Yeah,
God, we
that
got
was
the
when
gremlins on
Disney
the
got.
plane.
It's when cartoons had racism and started on kind of the xenophobia. But fair enough.
Yeah. So, Dr. Steven, for brand new people who have never seen you on my channel before, why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us who you are, what you do, what you love, what you know, whatever. Just have a go at it.
I hate doing this. I'm Dr. Stephen Hobbs. I'm a doctor on Twitter. I answer questions about almost everything from healthcare to bugs. So whatever you'd like. I'm a professor of biology. I've been a professor of chemistry and physics as well. So I dabble in lots of different stuff. That's me.
Triple
Kind of
threat.
boring, honestly, yeah.
I like it. Triple threat.
I'm fun at parties you can imagine.
Oh, that's
Oh
brilliant.
gosh. I know I volley questions over to you sometimes if I'm up to my eyeballs in something. I'm like, oh, it's animal stuff. I'm gonna hit this question over
I love it.
to Dr. Hobbs, and you catch it on Twitter. You're like, hey, incoming, and then you answer it. It's great. Thank you.
Yes.
Well, I've been spending entirely too much time talking to flat earthers, so it's fantastic to speak to someone with a frontal lobe, because my God, staggering.
I don't even know where to start with them because they ask me stuff on Twitter that takes a degree to understand. So how am I going to teach you 4 years worth of physics in a tweet? You obviously don't want to know the answer, otherwise you would have already figured it out. And anybody that I have ever invited to my lab, none of them show up. Like, we'll go outside. It's right there. Outside is right there. We can go out there and I'll show you how to do this, and they still say no.
It's all CGI, man. Everyone knows that.
Oh yes,
Everything.
It's got to be CGI.
It's
There's
all,
no way to
all,
actually get the photo.
It's
I
the
usually
Matrix.
start.
We're in the
Try
Matrix.
to ask them. I try to ask foundational questions to probe specific insight, like, when navigating by sea, why are circles shorter than straight lines? Because that can only happen on a sphere, and it does.
Yeah.
And they're like, nope. 500 years of navigation, totally fucking wrong. It's wrong.
Completely.
When I fly from Cape Town to Sydney, why don't I fly over the Alps? Never have. Or maybe I missed them every time.
I don't.
Trying to keep that from you. That's why.
I
them.
don't
right.
talk
I
to
must
such
be-
people who think the Earth is flat. I just avoid that completely. I'm like, nope.
Yep.
Y'all are over
I've gotten to
here.
the point now
You
where
go
I just
play.
block and move on. Like I'm not going to change their mind. They've made it up. I'm not going to do anything.
I love pushing them to the flat Earth Pascal's wager, which is you're in on it. That's the ultimate get out. You and your celestial navigation.
Oh my goodness. So today, getting on topic, we're talking about zoology. We have several videos to peruse, but I thought I would ask you, since you're our guest, Dr. Stephen, do you want to watch a video on Bigfoot? Bigfoot. See, I'm already sounding like Doc. Bigfoot.
You've been hanging out too long.
I've been hanging out
you
with the Scott.
appropriate my culture. Stop that. You racist piece of shit.
You know, I considered a whole challenge just for you on how Scottish do you feel? And then I go through on a scale of 1 to 5. How Scottish do you feel right now? Here's a picture of haggis. Here is some bagpipes.
You could just cut to the chase and go, how many kilts do you presently have, like within arm's reach? And the answer, so yeah, I'm very Scottish.
Okay.
Well,
All right.
Now,
so
he's going to go get it.
Yeah. He's going to
I
go
just
get
know
us.
that after this video, he's going to start sounding like me.
Yeah, he might.
He's going to
All
lose
right,
10
so
IQ points simply by sounding like me.
Oh God. Yeah, I'm visiting him in October, so this will be interesting.
Really?
Yeah, I am. I'm flying to the Netherlands. He's going to take me to the Natural History Museum. We're going to go to the Ark. They have an Ark there.
Yes,
And we're going to go to the Van Gogh Museum and stuff. It'd be fun.
I'm jealous.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cheese.
Have you got
cheese
your proof of
clogs.
Scottishness?
Everyone.
Oh my
Hello?
goodness.
There we go.
We're back.
Is everybody frozen? We're back. Okay.
It was the Dutch Secret Service. I was talking about cheese and clogs, and those are national secrets.
Ah, that's what that is. Don't give away all of the secrets. So, Bigfoot, Chupacabra, Lizard People, or Loch Ness? Which video would you like to look at?
I am good with any of those because I've torn them all apart. Chupacabra's from my area. So let's go with that.
All right. Let's go with Chupacabra. Bull, there are 2 videos. There's first one, it's the second one in the folder where it talks about a man who sees a Chupacabra. And then there's a follow-up to where they're correcting their news story.
And then there's more.
So, I mean, I'm a little bit out of my depth in this field. Chupacabra's the scary goat kind of goblin creature thing, right?
The goat eater, yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, often,
shit.
sometimes, someone swears they've seen the mythical
This is a news
Chupacabra.
story.
Yeah, sometimes they even catch the creature on camera, or what they think is the creature on camera, like one man in Houston.
KPRC
compelling
Archer spoke
evidence.
to that man about his unusual discovery.
Let's see.
Could it be a blood-sucking Chupacabra is on the loose? Well, Justin Ferris thinks so, says he saw
Holy
one
shit.
Look at that
running along
compelling
this fence
picture.
line on his way to work this morning. And he's got the pictures, he says, prove it. Fuzzy
Does that look
shots
like
of an
coyote?
animal along League Line Road near Hallmark. Why is it pictures
You
of
are
Chupacabras and Bigfoot are always out of focus?
They're a little blurry because we were still trying to move, and that thing was running down the fence line, and we wanted to get it before it went, and then all of a sudden, right off the league line, it went off into the brush.
Justin
If
says
you'll
he's
notice,
seen
we
it
found the
before.
same.
He describes himself as a Chupacabra
Okay,
hunter.
pause it, Bull.
This is about
What was that, Dr.
Okay.
Stephen?
I said, if you'll notice, we sound the same.
Yeah,
That
you
man
really
did
do.
that.
Is that you?
Yeah.
It's you, isn't it?
No.
It's you.
Fortunately, we probably had the same teacher.
Oh my God. I have an
Okay.
idea for you. I have
What?
an idea for you, Dr. Stephen. Halloween. Be a Chupacabra hunter.
Oh yeah,
Yes, the cowboy
you could
hat.
do that.
You can cosplay as a Chupacabra hunter. And then you can walk
Can
around
I,
with something that looks like a fake
You should have
werewolf or
seen me.
something.
It was completely out of focus.
Yeah.
The
Well, it's
actual
not
animal was
gonna
out of focus. It wasn't the fact that I had been drinking since noon. It was the animal itself. It's never me.
when I first saw those pictures, I thought, "Oh, that doesn't look at all like a skinny dog, does it? Did it look like a skinny dog to anyone else?"
Kind of does, but they have a close-up. I think they have a close-up in this.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Okay.
Did they blow it
I'm
up?
gonna
Let's continue on with the video. And then they have a scientist later on in the second half. So It's just a few minutes. So let's
My
see.
fourth one that I sighted. This is the second one we've gotten on camera. So yeah, my buddies at work, Colby and Josh, they couldn't believe that I actually got it on camera.
By definition, a chupacabra is an animal said to exist in parts of Latin America where it supposedly attacks other animals, especially goats. Before 1995, no one had ever claimed to have seen one. The first sighting, allegedly in Puerto Rico. There have been thousands of sightings since then, but none has ever been verified, though you'll find a lot of folks on the internet who claim to know what they look like. Josh says he knows. He says he shot this chupacabra in Central Texas 7 years ago.
Chupacabra right there. Pause it. Pause. Oh.
Wait. Did that chupacabra look really like a coyote, right?
It did.
I mean,
It did.
that's a coyote.
Yeah, that's a
It's a
coyote.
fucking coyote.
Yeah.
Coyotes? Okay. Coyotes eat goats though, guys.
They can,
do
and
eat
they do look really, really gross when they have mange.
Yeah.
Like when their hair comes out and their skin gets inflamed, it looks really gross. And that's normally what it is. It's just a coyote with mange.
That's behaving
Mangy
weird because it's
coyote.
really distressed and starving, and
You got it.
but you got to love it. I mean,
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I love the colorful explanation for things that are, more simply and parsimoniously explained by, reality.
Right.
So it says something about human imagination. But interestingly, the chupacabra sightings sort of coincide with natural location of peyote. So there's maybe just like Morgellons coincides with methamphetamine, almost like 200%. Just saying. But admittedly, when I did peyote, I just saw cactuses running around on the ground. It's like, it's fucking mescalado, but I'm not making videos about it.
Oh, goodness. Yeah.
Mm.
All right. Do we want to finish that particular video, or do we want to see a follow-up with the news story and what with the
Let's
scientists?
do the follow-up. I really
Okay,
need to see
the last video in the folder. Bull. So Bull's my producer. I have a producer now, Doc Stevens. Dr. Stevens.
Congratulations.
Awesome.
I'm growing up.
Awesome, Bull.
Moving up in the world.
A story we aired last month got so much attention it spread to websites and news organizations worldwide. It centered on one question.
So they have their
Did a
retraction.
Kentucky farmer find the legendary chupacabra? That question can now be answered by the Kentucky Department of Fish and Wildlife. WLKY's Ann Bowden talked to the biologists that helped conduct the study.
I bet this woman's loving it. You've been sent out to check on the chupacabra story.
Interest to biologists at the Department of Fish and Wildlife, but not for the reasons that we might think. The question of whether it's a chupacabra was answered pretty quickly, but the answer led to more reasons to test this animal.
Can you guess what the answer is?
I'm gonna guess coyote. Can you turn it up a bit?
Mark Hawthorne hit our airwaves and spread like wildfire to news organizations across the world.
It's kind of got, it's kind of exploded, and then everybody on Facebook exchanging pictures, and it's just, it's pretty interesting.
The chupacabra has never been verified, but it's definitely mystified millions with sightings in Texas, New Mexico, and now here.
It is
in
no doubt a
Kentucky.
hideous creature. There's just no way around it. It's not very attractive, and just without that fur absent, it just gives it a whole new appearance as to what it is.
But the origin of our mystery animal is now revealed, thanks to biologists at the Kentucky Department of Fish and Wildlife.
The anatomical features of it, skeletal features, the general appearance, particularly in this instance of the paws, that give it away, that it is in fact a raccoon.
The Kentucky Fish
Oh,
and
this is a
Wildlife
raccoon?
Strange.
Oh,
Yeah, that
okay,
was
so
the
this
same
must be a
thing.
different.
2007,
Oh.
this animal
This
was
looks
sighted
different.
while it was
the
still
Montauk
living and
monster.
brought to their attention. The similarities
Poor little
are
thing.
obvious, but state fish and wildlife
That's a
biologists are
hairless
still very interested
raccoon
in
for that
studying
one.
This animal
I
for
thought
an
that was a
entirely
follow-up for the
different
Kentucky
reason.
one.
Not to determine.
Apparently people in
the
Kentucky have
species,
great
we know
drugs.
it's a raccoon, but to determine what's the cause of this, and it's likely some form of obvious hair loss.
It is not mange.
Yeah, no
which has
shit,
been the
Sherlock.
case with chupacabra sightings in the West that have mainly been coyotes with mange. But here in the East, these hairless creatures,
Coyotes
with
growing in
mange.
numbers, are the mystery.
Can
It
I
is
ask
similar
a
to
question?
alopecia in humans,
Absolutely.
another skin disorder. A biologist went up Monday afternoon to collect skin samples to further their studies on the animal, and they did it in the nick of time. Because of all the worldwide attention, Mark Cawthorn is taking the animal to a taxidermist to mount it.
Kind of been fun.
They're going to mount the poor hairless raccoon for their living room.
You know, so.
Oh my God.
So my question, I'm not from your culture, guys, but who shaves their raccoon? Who fucking does that? Oh yeah, what you do in the Saturday?
People
I'm shaving the raccoons.
In the hollers, when they don't have anything better to do and they want to impress their 12-year-old wives, they go and shave a dead raccoon and call it a chupacabra.
I was thinking. I've
Sorry
hung
to
out
the
with
folks in
raccoons.
Kentucky. I just mean like the mountain people in the hollers where that's a real problem. That's like not the whole of the state. Let me just
only where the chupacabra is a problem.
Yeah, only where there's a problem in chupacabra.
We're not dissing the country people, but leprosy in America, how is that spread? It used to be spread predominantly by armadillo wrestling. No shit.
Yep.
Armadillos.
Armadillos.
Yeah.
They're from Texas, and I have yet to see one in my entire life in the wild.
Really?
And
Well,
I've
if you
yet
come
to
out my way,
contract leprosy. I've yet to contract leprosy by the dumbest way possible.
So here's a question for you, Dr. Steven. So I have armadillos all around my area to the point they're like roadkill all the freaking time.
Stay away.
It makes me wonder. Because they used to be further south. So it kind of makes me think, the change in the climate has caused this migration to kind of shift and move to where we have certain wildlife that used to not be here.
Well, if you've got an area that's got a lot of underbrush and you end up changing it because they get a lot more rain at that time, you're going to get a lot more fungus. And those things can smell out everything. They can't see for shit. Like they can't see anything. Like if you're standing there, they're not going to be able to see you, but they can hear and they can smell really well, or they can stink really well. Anyway,
they don't smell cars so great out here. So
no,
they don't smell cars at all. They just right on the side of the road upside down.
To danger. Yeah. Their natural aversion to danger is to jump straight up, right into the car.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's great. You get it right in the grill.
Exactly.
There's actually been an explosion of armadillo population since armadillo wrestling was banned, and that's not bullshit. That's the thing.
Wrestling actually kept their numbers down, decreasing the amount of leprosy.
No, people got leprosy, but there were fewer armadillos, so it was like a trade-off.
I didn't even know about armadillo wrestling until this particular broadcast, so that's amazing.
My parents are my parents are so proud with what I've done with my education.
I would love to see them
television he's talking about armadillo wrestling again.
Again. Emphasis on the again.
Don't wrestle your armadillos, folks. We don't want leprosy. All right. How about another riff video? You want Bigfoot, lizard people, or Loch Ness?
Let's go with the reptilians, the lizard people. Those are always fun.
Okay. So there's somebody who was arrested for killing people he thought were lizards. We're trying to.
No.
I'm just going
to. Arrested, armed and confused.
A man in Washington State was arrested after he was shown waving an AK-47 and a pistol and indicating that he had had a conversation with Donald Trump and needed to go after lizard people. These are the same lizard people that some conspiracy theorists talk about on their programs, people like Alex Jones. Now, this 55-year-old man, again, armed himself with an AK-47 and a pistol over this past weekend and said that it was because of a battle against lizard people. The man told law enforcement that President Trump had spoken to him, called him specifically to warn him about this. Now, the sheriff's department says the man told a deputy that he had, quote, snorted methamphetamine to lose weight and that he was taking prescribed morphine. But he did say the following statement: the meth doesn't make me crazy, man. The lizard people are real.
But to be fair to him, the Alpha Dragon had taken his family hostage. So
he said that, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And well, so I learned something today because I don't watch those programs. I didn't know that the lizard people had alpha dragons. Okay, so now we know that, and so I'm going to be on the lookout for that. I don't know if they have beta dragons or cuck dragons. I don't know.
No.
Okay, but apparently they have alpha dragons.
Dude,
So this is terrifying because it's like I'm sorry.
They're misquoting.
Let's pause.
They're misquoting. They should be saying alpha draconians. The alpha draconians are the lizard people, as opposed to the blue avians, who are also a thing, apparently. So one thing occurs to me, because I live in a civilized country. If a whack job can buy an assault rifle and another firearm over a weekend, just like, I feel like I need an assault weapon right now. That's kind of worrisome, I think. Second Amendment. It doesn't say every whack job should have an assault rifle, does it?
No, but for whatever reason, he also thinks Donald Trump. No, it doesn't. But the fact he thinks Donald Trump called him personally, but the fact that man says all kinds of interesting things that has no bearing on reality. That's certainly not. Windmills cause cancer, guys.
Trump was on Alex Jones' show.
I am so tired. I'm getting on my soapbox here. Because where I live is the oil field, yes. We also have 30-mile-an-hour continuous wind year-round, all the time. All the time. The wind does not stop, all the time. So we have a tremendous amount of windmills. So I go out to the foot of one, and I record a video. It's been on Twitter forever. But I go on, and I record this so that you can hear the sound or the lack thereof, and people are still saying, "Oh, well, that's noisy." Imagine the wind. Can you imagine how much wind there wouldn't be if there weren't those windmills?
Gives you cancer, man.
Oh my God.
Carcinogenic sound.
Like, I'm not even joking. I was standing in line at a store when I first moved to the city where I live, and there was a young lady standing there in the thickest accent you can imagine, talking to somebody on the phone, and she goes, "I don't know why they put those fans out there. The wind blows."
I love it. It's beautiful. It's so beautiful.
I don't even know
when you fly into the Netherlands, there's this shallow sea, and it's nice and calm, and there are fucking hundreds of them there, just out there in the ocean, turning around, making totally clean electricity. They're all over the place. It works beautifully. The fans, man.
Does the wind not blow in the Netherlands or something because you've got all those fans?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Do you remember the guy who said that we can't have wind farms because it'll slow down the wind and heat up the planet? This is why we have this show, so we can sit here and laugh through the insanity and go, we're not all crazy. This is actually happening with all the gaslighting we get from being intellectuals in a vastly insane world. Alice in Wonderland, man, clean cup, move down. And started drinking out of this cup of tea. Yeah, that's all right. I'm just going to smash it on the floor and get a new one.
Right? I get called an elitist because I can read.
I've gotten shit because I write cursive before.
I've got you beaten, guys. I caused autism. That was me.
You.
That was
He
me.
single-handedly did it.
I murder people for profit in a premeditated international ongoing crime against humanity. And I caused autism, apparently. And I'm worse than
He's worked in vaccines.
Oh, yeah.
Vaccines and you know, things that stop kids dying, that kind of thing. Yep.
Yeah.
That was me. Autism and murder for profit. If only they knew it's only part of the dark truth.
The other part is I saved 15% on car insurance at Geico.
It's all true, and the Earth's flat, by the way.
The Earth is flat. No, it's not. It's hollow and expanding. I know this because somebody on Twitter told me that.
And the reptilians live in a hole.
It's hollow and expanding like a freaking balloon, man. And he showed me his calculations he put in on his simulator on his computer. But his settings couldn't be wrong.
He couldn't be a nut job.
Wait a minute.
Couldn't be that
so it's
either.
blowing up like
Totally
a balloon?
Yes, have you look up Hollow Earth? That was probably one of the funniest things.
No,
heard.
no, not gonna do it.
That's why we can't navigate, because everything's getting further apart all the time.
That's why you're not going over the Alps anymore. They moved.
They did.
No, I want to teach the controversy balloon animal Earth. I want balloon animal Earth. I think that could probably sell.
And Pokemon evolution.
Yeah, kind of like that. Kind of like that. Instead of a circle, let's get one of the long ones that look like a hot dog, and we'll twist it in the middle, and then we'll connect it at the top, and it'll be like the circle of life, except really strange and filled with gas.
Like an Ouroboros. Right. The great birthday clown sculpted the universe out of balloons. There could be a whole tradition in that. We could make a fortune.
Then there's it. The films.
Oh, yeah.
It makes sense now.
We all float.
Totally true. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We all float down here.
Mm-hmm. Can we see more of the reptilian murder guy, or move on to I don't know. Could we visit Loch Ness?
We have lots of videos. I think we might need to take a moment with our new sponsor. We have a new sponsor for the channel, guys. Brand new commercial come out, brand new sponsor. So let's take a moment to get our brand new sponsor. Let's have a go with this.
Okay.
Hello, I am the digital representation of ScientistMel. I want to take a moment to thank all of my patrons on patreon.com/ScientistMel, as well as all of you who are giving through Super Chats and my help with GoFundMe for my computer. Thank you so much, as well as PayPal and any Streamlabs donations. I really appreciate your help. So guess what, guys? We have a special from our newest sponsor. So let's check it out. Yay!
Do you have a Bigfoot problem? Are you worried about calling local exterminators and police to handle your unique issue? Are you afraid the media will spin a fake news story putting you in a poor light? Fear not. We are Bigfoot Believe, here to help you. Our services include baiting, trapping, photographing, videoing, and removal of Bigfoot and other cryptids. We are a non-harmful and humane Bigfoot removal service. We don't use pesticides or harmful chemicals to remove Bigfoot from your property. And you can find us on our website, BigfootBelieve.com. We have a special coupon right now where you can get $100 off of your Bigfoot or cryptid removal. For major Bigfoot and cryptid infestations, click on our emergency service button to direct you to our standby operator, Billy Tatted, for 24-hour customer service anytime, day or night. We specialize in all kinds of cryptid removal. Whether you've got the Jersey Devils, chupacabras, aliens, or Bigfoot, we got your home covered. We also offer annual inspections and insurance options to cover any damage done, including alien abductions, starting at just $19.95. Stop worrying about Bigfoot and other cryptid infestations and let us help educate you and protect your family against these particular invasions and infestations. Call 555 Bigfoot for a free quote today.
Oh my goodness.
Lose the
people. There we go. So, I mean, the thing that strikes me about that is it's another money-making idea. We could actually sell that.
Yeah.
I mean, fucking exorcists make a stack of cash burning sage around your house.
Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Ever.
Shave a
ever.
Just shave a whole bunch of raccoons, and
I have to say a special thank you to Billy from the Geek Room for letting me use his picture. It was his birthday yesterday, so I thought this would be a nice little birthday present for him. It's like you can call him 24/7 if you have a Bigfoot problem. Let me know.
Peter is going to go for it is in the chat saying it looks like Staggers and Jags.
With a hat.
We all thought that. It was Staggers and Jags with Peter's hat, so.
Oh, so those are fake commercials. You can try calling that number. It's not real. So, like, we have fake sponsors. So,
yeah, with apologies to the real 555 Bigfoot guys. They're friends of the show.
all for $19.95. Well,
we're going to get in trouble for that one.
We're not going to get in trouble for that because 555 is not an actual prefix for any U.S. Phone number, because we had the song 8675309 that came out, and that was a problem for the people who own that number. So Hollywood and all them adopted the 555 prefix.
Yeah,
it won't actually go anywhere.
There's there's only like a couple of 555 numbers that actually do anything. One of them's 555-1212 for any area code. Gives you information for that area code.
You know, you guys are great. You just nerd stomped a perfectly good comic narrative. You fuckers. That was funny. And you're like, no, actually, we thought about this and we sensibly chose a thing. And I'm like,
that's our job.
That's why you're wonderful, wonderful people, and that actually makes it funnier. Because I get to act outraged. Bring on the Nessie. I want to see Nessie.
All right, we have a lot. We have a Loch Ness video. Let's see, which one do we want to do? I have 3 different videos. I have, did Apple Maps just find the Loch Ness Monster? I have another one on routers about Loch Ness Monster, maybe being an eel, actually. Yep. And then I have another one where there's this large fish that's said to be Nessie.
I don't know. Do any of them have bagpipes in them?
Everyone.
No, but if you have them, feel free, if you want to do that.
We just run over pillows to make the same sound.
I'm saying dealer's choice. So our cryptozoologist guest, bring it on. Which would you prefer?
Which one?
Nessie, Nessie, or Nessie?
I want to go with the Apple Maps one.
Okay, Apple Maps. Did Apple Maps just find the Loch Ness Monster?
What do you think?
Good morning. Welcome back to Breakfast Television and using satellites. civilians, plain civilians, can find anything in this world sometimes that the professionals have overlooked, and the Loch Ness Monster may be one of them.
Monster was found. Yeah, that's right. Good morning. Yeah, the Apple Maps. There's Google Maps, Apple Maps, there's Bing Maps, and on Apple Maps, they may have found the Loch Ness Monster.
So some of the satellite images.
So some of the satellite images, it wasn't reported which satellite it was, but you can see very faintly that it's a 50 to 100 foot long Loch Ness Monster in that area.
So they found like a disturbance in the water that they can't explain.
Yeah, and I'll zoom out a bit, and
it
you
looks
can
like
see
a
that
cloud.
in this shot here.
Yeah.
They've circled it, and it's just off the
I'm
island
convinced.
over here. So
how can people find this if they want to see for themselves and make their own judgment?
This is the thing here.
Wow.
It will work on
God,
certain
it really leaps out at you,
not
doesn't
all
it?
of them, depending on whether the cache, which is the memory,
It
whether
looks like
that
a
has
booger.
refreshed. So take a look. It is just south of Doris.
Yeah. So let's just give you the spelling here of Doris. So
D-O-R-E-S. Here it is. Sorry. And you can search that on your iPhone and iPad and see if it shows up. And it's an interesting.
Do you think it's Nessie? Do you think it's Nessie? I do. Do you know there
No,
actually is
no, I don't.
rumored to be up in Lake Simcoe, Kempenfelt Kelly, a beast, a monster that plies the waters of Lake Simcoe.
There are many skeptics out there, so I think this might be another interesting look there.
It's like
just another
most
sighting,
of
right?
the
Modern day
world.
technology.
who
This was
read
something
like
that went
Dr. Steven.
viral earlier on the
You're an
weekend,
elitist.
and it's the idea of the pizza game changers. And a lot of people were tweeting a
pizza
picture
game
of this pizza
changers
cake.
now.
Click on it, and it's going to pull up the pizza cake.
Pizza cake.
We're all going to die.
Who's that?
So
You're going to
Boston
die
Pizza's
if you
set out with this this campaign here, where you can pick
Isn't that
which
just lasagna?
thing you want to
we get
win.
on
So let's see if I
pizzas?
can scroll back. These are a few of the other ones.
I
This
don't
is
know.
the pizza burger.
These men are making money off of this, by the way.
That was the most random segue I've ever seen. Like, are you serious? Loch Ness Monster to pizza cake. What the hell just happened?
Pizza game changers.
They're
The
like-
fact that pizza game changers is even a concept strikes me as the world's worst first world problem. Let's take perfectly good food and just revamp it for no fucking reason except tired, bored consumers. Yeah, America's got fat as fuck already. Come on. What we need is more
all
convenient
the pizza
snacks.
cakes.
I think it
Used to-
was like
when I was-
after the Loch Ness tanked. They're like, well, hey,
Yeah.
here's this little smudge that you can probably clean off of your monitor. By the way, pizza's a thing. Here's pizza, guys. It's like, pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. Here's the pizza. Y'all like that? Watch this some more before our
Did they-
viewers drop. Here's
did they-
pizza. It's
did they-
nice. We like it.
Did they blur out Nessie's face?
Well, they don't know her age,
Maybe-
so they need to blur her out.
Yeah. Oh
Well,
my gosh.
even in Scotland, they tell that as a story like mermaids and seahorses, or that kind of horse, flying ponies, witches and wizards. It's like, yeah, we're kids for entertainment purposes. The kid, oh, it's a made-up story, and it's kind of fun and imaginative.
It is. It's fun. We've got do you want to see the images for this strange may have been a large fish or Nessie? I think it's the third video. Maybe that's
Sure.
more interesting than game changers for pizza and smudges on a screen. Because
Pizza game changers. Hmm.
Nessie likes pepperoni pizza, I hear.
Shit. Oh my God.
That's a whale, isn't it? Wouldn't that be a whale? It's in Alaska. It's gonna be a freaking whale. It's not Photoshop because it's a freaking whale. It looks
Well,
like
it
a
is
whale to me.
undulating.
Mhm.
Ooh.
It's an Alaska
Pretty
Nessie.
cool, actually. Pretty cool.
I mean, it could be a sturgeon.
Funny how much the Loch Ness Monster acts like a whale most of the time.
Yeah.
They could
Tell
just
you,
leave the camera on it until it comes to the surface to breathe.
Yeah. There is a creature that lives in Loch Ness that's a big scary called a basking shark. And if you've ever had one of those bastards hit you in a rowing boat, it won't even notice. And
They are
they
pretty big.
are vast. just a long face open, brain the size of a pea. But yeah. So, that happened to me once, and I did, in fact, shit my pants. If that happened to me at night, Jesus Christ. I mean, that's Nessie right there. It's a thing that happens to regular people.
I don't
Not
know, man. I'm
necessarily
thinking
the shit in your pants, but
yeah. I think if your bowels were evacuated prior to that, then probably more like urinate in your pants might be a thing.
Yeah.
It might be an option.
Yeah,
as
pretty
opposed to
much.
crying.
I'm just saying, big scary monsters are there. They, can be mistaken for big scary monsters. But Kent Hovins keeps bringing up the Loch Ness Monster as evidence of some bullshit that he's sell to a bunch of morons. It's like contemporaneous dinosaurs.
I have a book over here.
I don't. You have a book? Is it a biology book, a textbook?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got the
Is
entire
Nessie
fossil
in
record
there?
written down in it. No.
Oh, no, Nessie's not in there.
No Nessies
it's
that
all
I can
CGI.
find. It's got
Poor
like a
Nessie.
feather.
Nessie's
Just like
trying
flutter.
really hard. Yeah. I don't know. Well, we
Well, the
have
thing that I
another
got,
Nessie video. Oh,
the
sorry.
thing
Go
that I've
ahead.
gotten most out of all of this is just publicity. People wanted to be famous about finding something, just, oh, my God, that's amazing, like P.T. Barnum kind of thing.
Yep.
And then they would pay people to go and get or they would get funding to go on these amazing trips, which I would probably take myself. And just, oh, I'm sorry, we took all your money and we didn't find it. Can you pay us some more? Oh, sure, yeah. Bring me back something awful. And they
Do you know?
Go ahead.
No, please carry on. I interrupt.
No, that's fine. And it's as long as they had somebody interested in the idea, it kept going. But very few people even know what a hodag is anymore. Has anyone heard of that before?
I think that's the communicable disease, isn't it?
No. That's a little different. No, a hodag apparently was a mythical creature that lived in the forests of I don't know, Wisconsin and the Minnesota area. As soon as the Smithsonian was like, sure, we'll come out there. We don't need you to do it. We'll do it. The guy was like, we're done. We faked it all. It's fake. And now all they do is it's become a local legend, and it's just used to kind of make fun of that entire history where the hodag now just drinks beer. A local brewer has picked it up, and that's what they do now.
See, we have hoedowns where I live. We have hodags. We have hoedowns where people get together, drink, and then they do like line type of dancing, and they spin around and change partners.
Yeah. No, we don't. I mean, we have some of those, but it's a totally different thing here.
That's kind of a shame, isn't that? Kind of a shame.
Yeah. See, they closed down the fairgrounds here and sold off all the stuff. And then now it's like I think they built a school where the fairgrounds were. And then they decided to still have the fair, but it's now at like different types of centers. And then they have like all the stuff on the outside. But it's honestly, man, it was like 100 degrees yesterday and like 98 degrees a couple days ago. And you're like, nobody wants to go to the fair because it's too freaking hot. And I don't care how much lemonade you have. But the heat plus the spinny things and the fried things is just it's like a very sick day. I don't think the next day.
I'm having conceptual issues. Isn't the concept of a fair that a bunch of shit gets gathered in one place rather than in lots of different places that you then have to tour around? That's not a fair. That's how it is all the time, right? This isn't Spain.
Well,
Come on, America. You just can't just call it that.
It's in an area that you can go and you park your car, and they have, if it wasn't so freaking hot, it'd be okay, because we have another fair going on right now. And then there's always the really crappy singing, because they'll like pull people in that are like C and D list artists. Like, you can go and listen to this person sing and stuff. And then they have like the local talent come in, which is always a joy and educational experience for anybody who doesn't live here. So you're like,
Come on.
This is what you do here. Okay.
You could go to the ARC experience. You could go to the ARC experience. Why are you bitching about crappy fairs? You can do this.
I could, but I feel like I would have
It's
to
only
get very biblical with it.
It's only like $90.
We could go and
Do
just
what?
etch into the wood why it was wrong. Do you want to go?
Do you want to go, Dr. Steven? We can go to the ARC if you want. Let's make a plan.
Go.
We'll make a plan.
Let's go and get kicked out.
I've been kicked out of nicer
You're totally
places.
getting kicked out, man. They'll pick you out. Keep an eye on that guy.
You're that guy from the internet.
Oh, yeah.
We can get kicked out of the ARC. That would be great. We'd be like PZ getting kicked out of a film, except it's the ARC. Let's get kicked out of the ARC, Dr. Steven.
I'm game. Let's go.
That's the goal. All right. We're going to do this. And we'll live stream the whole thing. It'll be great. This is the time we got kicked out of the ARC, guys. This is great. Oh, my God. It'll be like Jay and Silent Bob go to the ARC. Except science version. It'll be fantastic. I can't wait. I'm so
plenty of
excited
swearing.
Plenty of swearing.
Make sure you check out make sure the Velociraptor cage and the fucking your sister room, because they're both there.
Oh my goodness. All right.
I've even got a bit
Are
for
you guys...
the thermo. Yeah, carry on. I hate the art.
No. Well, we can be very comprehensive. I think I still have your phone number, Dr. Steven. I'll message you or something. We'll sort it out.
Sure, please do.
Awesome. All right. So, are you guys ready for a challenge? We have our resident alien and named Roswell. We have a British alien named Roswell.
Highlight of my week.
Yes. So Roswell normally does, is it a conspiracy or not? This time is it a cryptid or not?
Okay.
So you have to guess whether or not this is an actual cryptid or if it's made up. which is the challenge, isn't it?
Let's try that.
Why did
you have my full attention.
So is it or not? So it's all in order under Roswell's file.
Hello, my name is Roswell. Instead of doing conspiracies, if it's a real conspiracy or not, your challenge will be, is it a cryptid or not? Do you think you can tackle this challenge, Dr. Stephen Hobbs and Doc Savage? What do you think? Are you ready to do it?
Let's try.
Yeah. Yowzer.
Here is your first challenge. You've heard of the Loch Ness Monster, of course. We already know that that's a cryptid, but are you aware of Bessie? Bessie is the Lake Erie monster that's found in North America. It's supposedly some kind of Bessie type of monster, but maybe Loch Ness's sister. So is this a real cryptid, yay or nay?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, play along in the side chat. I do give out points for people who get it correct on Streamlabs.
And Ogopogo's the same, right? Same kind of thing.
Oh, I don't know.
Big scary lake creature.
I
think so.
Big scary lake. Okay. What's the reveal?
Not to be
I have this
Bessie is a real cryptid. She's also known as South Bay Bessie. The first recorded sighting of Bessie seemed to have occurred in 1793. So, Nessie has a sister, an American named Bessie.
Sounds
right.
totally legit.
I love it.
I have one of her teeth right here. Look at that.
No, that's a megalodon. Don't lie.
No, it's a Loch Ness monster tooth. Everyone knows this.
Next challenge.
She's stuck.
Come on, you damn alien.
So you've heard of our American Bigfoot walking around, the bipedal humanoid type of ape-like thing. But did you know there's something similar in Indonesia called Ibu Gogo? Ibu Gogo seems to appear in the Nage language of Central Flores. So, does Indonesia have their own version of Bigfoot? What do you think?
I'm almost certain they have the same legend, whether or not it's the Ibu Gogo.
Yeah.
I'm going to say yes.
Me too. Flores Islands is a really interesting place. They don't have orangutans anymore, but they quite probably did at one point.
So what does Roswell say?
This indeed is a cryptid. Ibu Gogo seems to have appeared to be about 1.5 meters tall. It's part of the Ibu, meaning grandmother, which is part of the Nage language, and Gogo means who eats anything. So your grandmother who eats anything, that would be the Ibu Gogo. In Flores, Indonesia, you can find it as part of their mythology. How interesting.
Very good.
There's some overlap to where it might be one of the early hominids as well. So
Right, I could
there
definitely
might be
see that.
So some of the early
totally get it.
hominids. All right, next challenge. You guys are doing great so far.
We all love the good stories of Tolkien, particularly Lord of the Rings. Did you know that Shelob was based on a cryptid character from Tanzania? That particular giant hairy spider is a cryptid that's indicative of that particular area, and it's called Mingwa. So, Shelob is a real cryptid? Did Tolkien take this? Is this real?
I'm going to say no.
I'm sure. I think the thing is real. I don't think Tolkien cribbed it from there. So that's me hedging, totally hedging.
Sometimes these are hard. You never know, man. Things like is this a real
which made-up
cryptid?
creature is really made up?
Yeah, well, and what culture doesn't have made-up giant spiders?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Let's go with it.
Made up giant spiders. Is this made up giant spider a cryptid, Bull? What does Roswell say?
This is not a real cryptid, although Mingwa is an actual name of a cryptid from Tanzania. That particular character is a carnivorous mammal. So, while the name is a real cryptid, it is not a giant hairy spider. Go figure.
Although
Sneaky
good
alien.
You know,
Fuck you,
Roswell
Roswell.
is really useful. You know, I will forward your comments to Roswell. And Roswell may have words for you later.
That was a
Karen's
trick
still
question.
on vacation. You know, that was a trick question. Karen's still on vacation and she misses you, Doc.
Yeah, she's on permanent vacation.
Karen was another challenger if it's a real pseudoscience product or not. And so she has a thing for Doc, apparently. So weird.
It's the
random head.
Yeah, very strange. Moving on.
We all know about walruses, but did you know that deep in Africa, there is a jungle walrus? It's called dingo neck, and I'm probably saying that word wrong, so apologies for that. However, this is a real cryptid. Dingo neck. We all know about walrus for that. However, it's a tusk water-dwelling animal that you can find
the Matrix,
in
dude.
Western Africa. Is this a real cryptid, a giant jungle walrus?
I really
Is it jungle
wish
walrus
there
or
were giant jungle. Walruses are great, but they don't dig jungles generally. So no, I think this is silly. This is nonsense.
I think that's borrowed from Mokembe Embe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think real or
I think that
no?
one's real. I think that one's real.
I think that's real.
This is a real cryptid. Dingo
There you
neck
go.
is a creature said to have been seen somewhere around Lake Victoria in 1910 by a big game hunter named John Alfred Jordan. So, supposedly, him and his fellow big game hunter Edgar Beecher Bronson witnessed this jungle walrus. Have a look at that one. It's interesting.
Yeah. He was also known as is notoriously known at the Umbembe Club as Drunk John Jordan. Mistakes elephants for walruses because of the tusk thing. It was just like a walrus, except with a really big nose. Really big nose, flappy ears. Totally a walrus. Here's another gin, John.
Oh,
Shut the
goodness.
fuck. Who gave John a gun? Who did it?
I think is there one more challenge? I think there's 5 challenges.
Okay.
I don't know.
We all
Roz will send
love
me a
watching seals swim and be adorable in the cutest possible ways. But did you know that in Australia, there's a menacing seal named bunyip that's dark and it goes through swamps and it eats things. It's scary. The Aboriginal people seem to think that this is a thing that goes around and eats stuff. It's quite frightening to see. So is bunyip real? Is it a cryptid?
A thing that goes around and eats stuff? No.
And
No, this
thinking
one's not real.
water thing too. Seals.
Yeah.
Giant
A water creature that eats stuff.
Nope.
You know, primitive culture with a mythology about water creature shit. I don't know. Probably real.
Where
Probably
would
real.
we come up with a seal?
I know they're so adorable.
Seals
But
are
a walrus
cute,
seal
man.
will fuck you up. Sorry, a wolf seal or a tiger seal will seriously put a crimp in your day. You know.
Seals on a slide though, those are cute.
A walrus. A walrus seal? Is that anything like an elephant?
No, I got walrus confused. I meant a wolf seal or a tiger seal. The big
Wolf
scary
seal
bastards.
or a
They're not
tiger
unlike
seal.
walruses.
Okay. Well, is
I say no.
bunyip is that
Bunyip
real?
is a real cryptid named by Aboriginal people in Australia. It's a large mythical creature that's said to lurk in swamps and billabongs, in creeks, riverbeds, and waterholes. It was first reported in the early 1800s. It tends to be seen throughout Australia, but prefers watery habitats. How about that one? Real cryptid, that?
Well, isn't
So it
it
was
an
first
understood?
reported after it was colonized. It was first reported.
Wow.
It sounds like
Yeah.
by
Everything
Aboriginal people.
Doesn't everything in Australia want to kill you? That's the thing about nature. There, we shouldn't be there. It doesn't want us.
Oh, goodness. I think Roswell has another message. I don't know if there's another challenge or another
You
message.
both did amazingly well. I'm very proud of you. I've put you on my list of people who not to abduct. However, you might want to consider that insurance that was given by Bigfoot Believe, or you can just pay me that $19.95 and I won't abduct you. I promise. I'll see you next time. Have a wonderful day, Dr. Stephen Hobbs, Doc Savage, and ScientistMel. Bye!
Oh, isn't she adorable? I love the way that when she smiles, her ears pop out. I think that would be a really good adaptation. That would be good, wouldn't it? Hello.
I'm listening. This means I'm paying attention to you and listening while I'm smiling. That's what that is.
She's much nicer than Karen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Karen, I don't know. Karen, I think she's so out with that Bob, with the guy named Bob. That's an AI for Google. I'm not certain where they're at right now. I think she might be in some kind of cyber jail or something. Last I heard, some cryptocurrency stealing thing.
Mental hospital. Secure ward.
Yeah, maybe it's a secure ward. She was a big fan of the Goop stuff, so she might have bought into something.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
What do we have up?
All right. We can do we haven't hit any Bigfoot videos. You guys want to watch a Bigfoot video?
Absolutely.
I have quite a few. I have somebody sent this to me and I don't think it's safe for YouTube. So, because I didn't have a chance to download it and cover body parts. But apparently, there's an entire section of the internet, and this is aired on Cinemax, where there's an adult film of ladies doing sexual things with Bigfoot.
Let's watch that. I think we should watch that.
About 15 seconds of that, Bull. Let's watch 15 seconds of Sweet Prudence and the Bigfoot, and then we have to cut it off because it shows rear ends. It's like, you know, this is.
You saw it here first, Bigfoot porn.
We're not. No, we. Shush, Doc. That's not what this is. There's not any nakedness there. I'm just like. It's just like Blair Witch, but Bigfoot in weirdness. There's
They
like
need a
one
better
person.
camera.
You know, everything's blurry.
Hello, it's nice to meet you.
Okay, I can't do this anymore.
I'm buying this. I'm going to buy that right now.
Doc's like, take my money.
It's just throwing it. You know, I can send you. I'll send you the link if you want. If you want, Doc, I'll be like, here you go. Throw your money at these people.
That has to go in the archives.
It escalates from there. So there's that. So apparently people enjoy Bigfoot in all kinds of interesting ways.
Does it get better or worse?
It's oh God. Just
Can I be blunt for a moment?
Okay. This is our more grown-up version. So
does she get reamed by the big monkey? Simple question.
You know, that's the trailer.
Spoiler.
Everybody wants answered to, whether they admit it or not. They want to know.
That's what they want to know. Just looking out for the public. They all want to know.
If you have a Cinemax subscription, you should be able to watch this film on Amazon Prime or Hulu or any of those particular services. They're available to you. It's been made available since April 6th, according to the video. But people are interesting.
It seems very out of character for the Bigfoot.
It seems really good humored as well. You know, I like that. It's It's playful and dirty, and that seems kind of harmless and cute to me. I mean,
like Harry and the Hendersons takes a weird turn.
Like furries, it's not my thing, but they seem amiable. It's entertaining, Some
Oh my goodness.
friends of the show.
Somebody
Furries?
Yeah. Furries?
Are there cryptid furries?
Oh God, yeah. The people's personas can be real animals or otherkin or mythkin. So people dress
Like
up as
mythkin?
dragons and hump each other. Yeah, it's a thing.
Doc, somebody is Peter. Peter was so kind to send that to me. Peter does all my intros and stuff. So friend of the show. But Peter's like, hey Mel, check out this video of Bigfoot. I'm like, thanks, Peter. There's not enough brain bleach on the planet for that, by the way. Thank you. By the way, there's a sequel. They encounter aliens.
Yeah, I love it. Peter, please hook me up, man. I really need to see this.
They encounter aliens for science, of course. Oh my goodness.
And Roger them rigid, presumably.
Oh my goodness. So Oral Audacity is more of a grown-up comedy show, but we do put their sweary language in there, so I don't feel so bad, but part of me is like, oh.
Oh my God. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I thought I was on the other show where I'm allowed to give voice to the dark side. I'm really sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I thought you're back. Well, did you guys know that the FBI investigated Bigfoot?
No, really?
They did. We have their file. You can go on the FBI website and get the file of Bigfoot. They did investigate.
No shit.
It was from from the 70s. Somebody said that they claimed to have hairs from Bigfoot, and they sent it to the FBI lab. So
pre-genetic analysis then.
Their conclusions, before we look at the file, their conclusion was that it was deer hair because it's really hard to read. So, Bull, if you want to pull up that PDF, we can kind of scroll through, but you can't. Yeah, so it's like redacted, and all kinds of garbage. So it says, "Dear Mr. Byrne." So this is from Peter Byrne, and he was the director of the Bigfoot Information Center and Exhibition. This was in Oregon. And so this was around 1976. And so the FBI's response to his particular sample was, "Dear Mr. Byrne, I have received your letter of November 24th requesting an FBI laboratory analysis of 15 unidentified hairs and tissue. The FBI laboratory conducts examinations primarily of physical evidence for law enforcement agencies in connection with criminal investigations. Occasionally, on a case-by-case basis, in the interest of research and scientific inquiry, they make exceptions to this general policy. With this understanding, we will examine the hairs and tissue mentioned in your letter. They should be submitted to the FBI Laboratory Scientific Analysis Section J. Edgar Hoover Building, Washington, D.C., etc., Special Agent so-and-so. In your reply, please include all available background information concerning the specimen." And so their response, which is the next portion of this PDF, if you scroll down, I know you guys can't see it so well, so I'm going to read it. It's like, "Dear Mr. Cochran, I thank you for your letter of September 10th, 1976. I'm writing again to ask if you could possibly arrange for a comparative analysis of some hairs that we have, which we are unable to identify. You may know something of the program, which we, through the part sponsorship of the under-mentioned academy, are engaged. Should you not, I am enclosing an article which will partially explain what it is that we are trying to do. Briefly, we do not often come across hair which are unable to identify And the hair that we have now in 15 hairs attached to a tiny piece of skin is the first that we have obtained in 6 years, which we feel may be of importance. Please advise. That's from Peter Byrne. You scroll down, you see lots of different pictures from news, letters. And so you keep, this is all on the FBI website. You can check this out. And it goes through, and now the Federal Bureau of Investigation, Pennsylvania Avenue, etc., whatever. Gentlemen, the institution conducts research on and into the Bigfoot phenomenon of the Pacific Northwest of the USA. We have been in operation for nearly 6 years, and we are associated with the Academy. So they're basically bagging the FBI. So please, please, please look at these hairs. And so their final, after everything, you scroll all the way down, is that the hairs are freaking deer. And so there's so much media associated with it. There's so many, if you just keep scrolling through, you'll find all of the documents are available online. They've only redacted names of agents, it seems, I guess. But after Peter Byrne was pushing pretty hard for them to use their resources to check through, essentially, they've come to the conclusion that the hair was from deer.
Just to let the audience know that if you do download this PDF, it is legible. Some of the pictures are absolutely useless, but it's legible. You can read every word.
It was nice of them to investigate it.
Yeah, they did.
Right.
And so at the very end, the subject requested examination of unidentified hair from the Bigfoot Information Center and Exhibition, the Dalles in Oregon. Purpose: to report the results of the examination of hairs from the captioned organization. Details: by memorandum, Cochran to McDermott, dated 12/13/76. We agreed to examine a hair sample on behalf of the captioned organization. A letter to this effect, dated 12/15/76, was sent to Mr. Peter Byrne, director of captioned organization. Recently, the hair sample photograph attached was delivered to the laboratory by Mr. Howard S. Curtis, Executive Vice President, Academy of Applied Science in Boston, Massachusetts. This academy sponsors the captioned organization. The hairs were determined to be from a member of the deer family. Mr. Curtis requested that a letter setting forth the results of the examination be furnished to him, since Mr. Byrne will be out of the country for several months. He also requested that the hairs be returned to him, enclosure attached. So essentially, he sent in the samples. FBI spent time and resources, and you can see the pictures of the hairs. They measured them. They're approximately, I guess that's, if it's metric, that's what, 5 centimeters in length, to be from the deer family.
Yeah. I have the impression that if the FBI had anything better to do right now, they would have done it. And they were like, we've had 7,000 letters from this whack job. We're going to protect and serve by going, it's a deer tuft from the deer woods nearby where the deer live next to your house. It's okay to think it's a space alien Bigfoot shape-shifting. I like the Bigfoot variant that's actually a dimensional transmogrifying creature. They flip through a wormhole or whatever. But that's halfway derived from Terry Pratchett's books, so it's interesting.
He did send a lot of letters. Kind of like thunder, wormholes.
Wouldn't they? Mm-hmm. I mean, if they open, wouldn't the air?
That's I imagine them like a thunder.
They might. Kind of that one makes some sense. I don't
know.
That's
why we don't find very many Bigfoot carcasses or things around ever, because they do that thing through, to the other, some bullshit.
Maybe the aliens are abducting them.
Maybe. You guys, I think, are safe from Roswell for at least the weekend. So
hey.
I hear he likes bourbon. So if you leave out a glass of bourbon on a Friday night, with, I don't know if he's a fan of cookies, but he might like a
Lay
bourbon
out a
and
glass
maybe
of
a
bourbon,
shawarma
and you
some
can
shawarma.
expect to be anally probed.
Not if you leave a nice bourbon. If you leave a nice bourbon or whiskey, if it's like something like Southern Comfort or Jack Daniels, I think he would just abduct you out of sheer just, why did you leave this for me? How dare you?
Well, that kind
I'm
of
just
brings
saying.
in like the idea of the Yeti. It was a bear and a goat. It was a mountain goat and a bear. There were two samples that were taken. One was taken from a monastery, and one was taken from a farmer, or goat herder, or something like that. And one ended up being a bear. That was the one that was genetically identified or analyzed, and then the other one was identified by a microscope on site as belonging to a goat. So both
And,
Bigfoot and Yeti
living
belong
in
to the deer family.
mythology is derived from stuff that really happens in a lot of cases. And, a polar bear, that's a pretty imaginative monster right there. Throw in some shock and a little bit of extreme weather and some darkness, and that's fucking scary enough, man. Oh, it's an 800-pound predator.
I have a
The
video for
Winnebago's
you
the
guys.
same way. Okay.
Okay, Bull, under random, you'll find a video of a large alligator walking across a golf course.
Oh yeah.
This is the stuff. This is the stuff that cryptids are made of. So see if you can pull that up. This is a giant freaking alligator. Look at this thing.
The behemoth and the leviathan are biblical creatures that were written about, and it's the Nile crocodile and the hippo. So imagine them trying to describe this and look at the words that are written down. It's the same.
I think that's two guys in an alligator suit.
See, that's a big alligator.
Get next to it for perspective.
Get next to it for perspective. Yeah, I'm not that person.
Run away. Run the fuck away.
Let's get Harry, our friend here, who doesn't know anything. Put him out there. Hey, go, Harry, go pet the alligator and take the
That
picture
alligator
with your
knows
phone.
its boss. It's like,
Oh
nah,
my gosh.
I'm going where I'm going here.
It's
got my ball.
Let it take the ball and redo the shot. That alligator
So-
is huge.
It's either moving towards something or moving away from something. And if it's moving away, I want to know what it's moving away from.
No, I don't think it gave a crap that they were walking up to it.
No, it was like barely registering. But that's a big alligator, but that's not a big Nile crocodile, because those guys come in at like 20 feet long.
Yeah, they can be pretty freaking large. In the great white sharks, when I was little and I watched Jaws, I was utterly terrified even to get into swimming pools, because the idea of not being able to see something that's coming at you on that magnitude is quite frightening.
It's funny.
Well, thankfully, it's a quick end.
Yeah, pretty much. It's funny. I've never had a problem like swimming pools, swimming in the sea. But when I'm in the ocean, if I don't have tanks and I'm out where it's black underneath, I freak out. But even with tanks, I'm perfectly fine. I don't even know why that's the case. But there's the, oh shit, don't know what's down there. It's a sort of a visceral lower brain sort of resonance thing.
It is. It's weird.
I'm the
Not
same way,
a
but
well.
Go ahead.
Go. Oh, I was just going to say Peter Benchley. He actually kind of regretted writing Jaws. I don't think a lot of people know that he is an advocate for shark conservation now, because of what happened after the movie came out in the 70s with Jaws. A lot of people are going out just killing sharks for recreation. And so he's done a lot of things since then where he's gone out and tried to boost science education associated with sharks to kind of undo some of that fear that he instilled with his film. The film is amazing, by the way. Still in my top 10.
And
it's
still be afraid of sharks. They're not your friends.
Right, right. You can still have a respect for
Healthy
sharks, but
respect.
understand we're not their food choice. So, consider where you're at when you're swimming, and maybe don't chum the water where you swim. Kind of like, don't, it's just a bad idea.
Yeah, and you see this when you're underwater. If a diver does this, it's not a comment about your hair. That's swim for your fucking life.
Time to go.
But see, if you have responsible divers, so I've been to Freeport, Grand Bahama Island. I absolutely love it out there. They have something called the Underwater Explorer Society. They have scuba lessons. They have snorkeling. It's amazing. They have a dolphin habitat, but none of the dolphins are kept there. This year, if you jump out of the water when they say this, and the dolphin's like, "Hey, that's awesome," but it's kind of one of the things. It's a really good educational resource because they'll sit there and say, "You know what? Dolphins aren't really your friends either. If they want to, they'll just take you out in the middle of open water and leave you there, if they really want to." If it's a Wednesday, like on Wednesdays, we leave the humans in the middle of the water and then we swim back and do whatever we want. It's just there's a lot of this assumption that dolphins, because they're really intelligent, that they're automatically friends of humans. No, they can be.
Yep, there you go.
Just as jerky as humans can be when it comes to that.
Yep.
So I like the Underwater Explorer Society because they do address the fact that a lot of the wildlife that they encounter recognizes humans and understands that these are what humans do. And so you can have a good experience without any kind of concern of being eaten or drug out in the middle of open water and left there.
Right. Some dolphins are bastards, though. I knew a dolphin once. I mean, he was just cheeky, but he would fuck with you. You're like, "Give me a fish." Oh, fuck you. And he'd spit at you and throw balls in your face and things, but it seems fair enough. Octopi as well. They're sneaky.
Yes.
Have you ever hung out with an octopus?
I've had them turn my regulator off. I've had them remove my mask. I've had them yes. Like, hey,
they're
seem to be losing some air. I'll turn that off for you.
Yeah. Seriously, I was experimenting with them behaviorally, and I had the camera on the tank, and at night this bastard octopus would sneak out of its tank, go to one of the other things, eat my friend's experiment, and then go back. It's like, well, whatever I was trying to make you do is way less impressive than that. So keep doing that.
Let's get that on camera. Octopi being bastards. Lesson 1. It's eating my friend's experiment every single time.
They're super smart, like smarter than a dog is smart.
I did an episode of my show just on octopi and how it is that their intelligence levels. There's one in a zoo that will take pictures of people. It has a camera, legit.
It's a camera
in the water, and people will walk up and they'll be like, "Okay, click," and you can buy a picture. They can buy an octopus of you and your family. Awesome. So,
pretty awesome.
And they had one that predicted the World Cup at one point, but then they ate him. Oh shit! Polly octopus.
Oh my gosh. I don't know. Let's see. What have we not talked about? We have watched a little bit of a video on Bigfoot. All right, I have a question for you. Do you want your childhood destroyed because Dan Aykroyd believes in Bigfoot? Do you want to watch that? Or do you want to watch a guy that talks about people who make fun of him because he believes in Bigfoot?
Don't we all kind of do that?
Yeah, we kind of do.
Let's go with the loser.
I mean, think about it. If somebody tells you, "Oh yeah, I firmly believe in Bigfoot. We're going to go out there and hunt," does that check you just a little bit?
I'd say go after the pterodactyls, man. Go big or go home. Pterodactyls.
Which Jurassic Park is that? 3? Or the pterodactyls come swooping in.
No, they're all over Texas apparently.
Oh God.
They're all over the place, and John Morris Pendleton is going to hunt them in the Amazon because they're all over the place down there. They're not like giant flying foxes or fruit bats or things, Pterodactyl.
Yeah, no. Got to be a pterodactyl.
All right. Which one you want to go with, Dr. Steven?
Let's go with Dan Aykroyd.
All right. Why Dan Aykroyd? It's the last video, Bull, in the list of in the folder for Bigfoot.
Okay.
Good Lord. Dan Aykroyd killing it for us.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
So you're 100% in on ghosts.
I am.
Now tell me about why you're 100% in on Sasquatch, because that one is that's more puzzling to me.
Well, just that it's again, Gabriel Reese's story was quite convincing. Jeff Meldrum's research
I wish
quite
I
convincing.
knew. I would have talked to her about it.
Yeah, they were.
Jeff Meldrum told me he cut his finger off. He said if he could find out if Sasquatch is real, he'd take a pinky off. I said, if you could cut your finger off to know that Sasquatch is real, would you do it? He goes, which finger? I'm like, your pinky.
Mm-hmm.
I was like,
Well,
yes.
he's got casts. He's got hair.
What are you pointing to, Jamie?
He's Jeff Meldrum, Meldrum.
It used to be. It's in my room.
He's a paleontological scientist at the University of South Dakota.
But he can also be a silly man. Sometimes you study things, you memorize them, you pass a test, but you're still silly.
Well, but you talked to him. Did you feel he was,
I ain't giving up my finger for nobody, man.
Okay.
I'm not giving up a finger to find out if Sasquatch is real. That's crazy.
No. Well, yeah, he's pretty devoted to
Joe
it.
Rogan.
But it's been, Yeti, the yak and Yeti story, the Yeti story, and just the around the world, just the sightings that people have had.
Right, but people
I read a book.
cares.
Well, there was a book called Diary of an Alaska Housewife. It was about a woman. She wrote it. She left in the 70s to move from Kansas to Alaska, and her husband worked on the pipeline. And she tells a story one afternoon when she was at her, her window in the kitchen, and
Is this the woman that gave
she
blueberry
went outside
bagels
into the
to
garden.
Sasquatch?
So she saw something, went outside, and she smelt this really strong, musky odor. And she saw this big, huge shape at the corner of her garden, kind of disappear into the woods. And I don't know, bear.
Yeah, it was me again.
Who knows?
No,
Sure.
it's bear that ate
us down. How about where are you on chupacabra?
Not at all.
You
I
have
think
a
it's
lot
nonsense.
of-
I think it's
you have a lot
coyotes
of
with mange.
resources.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Pretty convinced.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, they've captured coyotes with mange. They look like demons.
How about Mothman? That's a neat story.
Does Joe know that
Listen, let's go back to
he's being trolled,
Bigfoot.
right? Does Joe know that he's
know.
being trolled by Dan Aykroyd? That is like, this
I
fucking hard.
I don't know. I don't know if Dan Aykroyd actually believes it at this point.
God, I hope not.
You know what? Even if he does, it's like, Dan Aykroyd, you're very talented and you make wonderful movies, but stay in your lane, buddy.
It's like you took the Ghostbusters role a bit too far.
He was in he was in the Splash movie when he was thin, right, and young, with
That was
the
Tom
mermaid
Hanks.
woman.
Tom Hanks.
Oh, it was
and-
Tom Hanks when he was thin and young.
Yeah. And Daryl Hannah. I don't know why I know any of that.
Was John Goodman in that one?
No,
John Candy.
John
Candy was in.
the other John. Ha. Okay. Oh God, and Rutger Hauer's gone now, so I'm really sad. I can't think about Daryl Hannah. I've made the connection. It's too much.
Yeah.
7 Degrees of Rutger Hauer.
Well, with Dan Aykroyd and
And
Ghostbusters. Go ahead.
yeah. Well, I was just
Ghost.
gonna say Rutger Hauer was like the basis of Lestat for Anne Rice in the Vampire Chronicles, and I met her. She's a nice lady, and I think she hit on me, but that's another story. Anyway,
You heard it here
she
first,
came to
folks.
town.
Anne Rice plays for the pink team.
Yeah, I think
Does she?
she's a double switcher, maybe. So
Which hitter?
I was 19. I was 19. It was an amazing experience. I was learning about Anne
Statutory rape.
I have read a lot of her work. I have to say, Blood and Gold is in my opinion, her best vampire. Okay, so that's my dog Frodo. So I'm sorry in advance.
It's a chupacabra.
Frodo is it's the chupacabra across the street, also known as the neighborhood cat. Frodo is protecting us from all of the evils of the world right now. You have no idea.
It's your hairless trash dumpster diver.
Yeah, it's a hairless raccoon that's running around just upsetting everybody right now.
Thanks, Tennessee.
So, yeah, thank you, Frodo. Good boy. Be quiet now. Shh. Nobody's trying to destroy the house or burn it down or get us.
Down, Frodo. Down, boy.
That was his name when I got him. They were like, here's his name. His name is Frodo. He's really got
It's
like a
perfectly good
Falcor
name.
face. It's a good name, but he looks like Falcor from the Neverending Story, but he's black. So he has like this little Falcor face. And, he looks like a luck dragon. And I'm like, this really should be his name, and he's trying really hard to behave. He really tries hard. And it's really cute because I'll be sitting on my couch and he'll sit there and he'll look at me. And then the moment I get up, he won't ask me to let him out. He will wait till I get up before he runs to the door, and he'll run in circles.
Yeah.
Let me out, let me out, let me out, let me out. I'm like, okay. I know he's so sweet. Oh, he's such a smart dog. I love him with my heart. But it's like, gosh, man. But he's protecting us from all of the evil cats and hairless raccoons, also known as chupacabras.
Nice.
Good.
I am not
Earning his
a cryptozoologist. I'm not. I'm not a believer in any of those things. And I spent a lot of time in London, and we did a haunted tour one time of all of these supposedly haunted areas and things like that. It was kind of cool because we did it at night. It was fine. We had dinner. It was fine. So we went to the Royal Courts of Justice, and they were explaining the ghosts and things like that. And on this intercom, which is on the front gate, if you go there, you can see it. It's feel free to do so. Comes, hello?
Oh, we're still here.
I looked at it. No. I looked at the intercom and I said, hello? And they said, what are you doing? I said, well, we're doing a haunted tour. Haunted? Yes, apparently it is haunted in that building. And they said, well, can you come in? You guys closed 4 hours ago. No, I mean, sure. Why not? So anyway, the security guard set up the ability for us to go in that night and the night after for us to actually do ghost hunting in the Royal Courts of Justice. And they told us all the stories about, they did all the stories about, some of the ministers and things like that would, or barristers, sorry, they would feel cold on their necks and they would move from one room to the other and they would hear things that weren't there and all kinds of stuff. So I started looking back as to when these stories were happening just that day. Excuse me. And I tore my voice box. Yay. I started looking at all the stories as to when they were, and this was before any electrical heat. It was all either coal fire, things like that. Either way, they had a fire on the inside of the building, so there was always some type of biofuel in there, which means means that they were going to have carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, mostly carbon monoxide, because of the way that it reacts with people. Carbon monoxide poisoning causes hallucinations.
Yes. Yes, it does.
It does. So I started looking
Also,
further into that and realized, in the early 2000s that most ghost stories came from a time period where they had open fires. They've got to have some source, obviously, either wood or whatever, and they would hear some massive clanking or change or something like that, which was most likely the flue closing, leaving all of the carbon monoxide inside the building, and then they started hearing ghosts. So it was always going to happen on a dark, stormy night, rain, things like that. There's no place for the gas to go, so we get into Roy Courts, and I started looking, and we found out everywhere where there was a ghost sighting, there was at least one part of the wall where there was either currently a fireplace or there was at one point a fireplace, because they still had the cutouts on the floor.
Yep.
Can
Exactly.
you imagine how many people were in that building?
Hundreds
All
and
of those people
hundreds.
had they had carbon monoxide poison. They were poisoning them for years. You had 200 years worth of people basically suffocating
Also,
themselves.
pareidolia and fear combined, especially combined with, recreational mind-altering substances, you can scare the bejesus out of yourself, even if you absolutely tell yourself the scary story. We're programmed to be drawn to the fear because it tends to stop us from dying prematurely. So on the flip side of the ghost tour, I was a ghost on one of those because they had people come out and be a ghost. Yeah, in Edinburgh. It was great.
I love it.
Scare the crap out of a bunch of tourists. But it was like, and I'm the ghost here, and this is the story, and this is why it's the story, and it's more ghost mythology. I'm the plague victim, and 5,000 people are buried right over there, and that's pretty scary, right? But it's a fact.
Yeah.
Do
Oddly
like a bit
enough,
of
we
haunting.
visited one graveyard.
Yeah, I mean, in London, you can go everywhere that has had a horrible, untimely death is haunted. Well, by this time, that's everywhere.
Yeah,
Literally
it's the whole
everywhere in the whole place. Yeah.
every room in every building. Somebody's died terribly in every room.
Yep.
Yeah, go to the tower.
Pretty much.
and
It's pretty
see one of my
grim, isn't it?
relatives.
Oh, absolutely.
You want to know spookiest place I've ever been, and go there if you get the chance. The catacombs in Paris.
Yes.
We've run out of space in our graveyards. Let's just dig a whole bunch of caves and fill them with bodies. Like tens of thousands of.
Yes.
Like, here's a room full of skulls. Jesus.
And you would think there would be more ghost stories.
Yeah.
You would
I mean,
think.
it's a spooky, but I didn't feel like weird about it or anything. It's just you're not really programmed to see like all of the ancestors. You're just the heads. Yeah, we sorted them out after the thing. Like, who did that? Whose job was that?
I hope they were paid well.
Oh, I don't know.
Hopefully did they with all that, or they just
They're
hired
being
an
more
intern.
They had plenty to eat.
Yeah, here's
there has to be
our intern. Go put all the heads
there has to be
together
a
in a group phylogenetically.
There has to be a comedy bit in that, a couple of Parisian French guys. Ooh la la. Okay, François, aujourd'hui, all the heads, we put all the heads. Oh, that's creative, Peter. That's fantastic. He's the master.
Oh my god. We have one more segment, which is stupid things people say on the internet. So we have some stuff left over from last week for anti-vaxxers. Because, anti-vaxxers are a thing. So do we have the audacity? Cool. Play the intro.
You got the audacity. You're going to jail. You got the audacity. My name is Gina. You got the audacity. That's all I got to say. You got the audacity. I sold $3,000. You got the audacity. scheming.
Did you know, guys? I have an announcement to make. G-Man actually was recently nominated for another award. Do you want to know what the award is?
Sure.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Yeah. World's most. Oh,
World's most what?
Inept dildo.
Inept
I think
dildo.
he's a strong contender from
Might be.
Inept Dildo Monthly.
Okay. Well, I mean, I think it's fair. So, for those who are new to the show, Audacity was what we were thinking about calling the show, but we decided to make it like, I don't know, smart people version. So, Audacity, we have the audacity and we speak it. So, that's Audacity. That's where we got the name of the show. So, I'm part of a Facebook group of anti-vaxxers because out of sheer morbid fascination of trying to understand why it is they think that they do, I go through and I try to learn because learning is a way to bridge all of the misinformation and try to get to the root of the issue. So Facebook is cracking down on anti-vaxxer groups. So the image that we're seeing right now, it says this group discusses vaccines. So anytime you join this particular group of anti-vaxxers, they actually prop up a thing that says go to the cdc.gov. Here's the correct information on vaccines. So Facebook is actually trying to eliminate anti-vaxxer rhetoric. So I thought that was particularly interesting.
That is awesome.
Yeah, it's nice that they're not shutting them down. They're saying here's an alternative. But is that the Facebook group called Munchausen's by Proxy Mommies?
It might as well be that because
Should be.
it's.
I think it might be.
Yeah. I'll send you a link if you want to join. Feel free. And I imagine if you comment on anything, you might be blocked in a few days. So
No,
I don't
it
comment
wouldn't.
on
It would.
anything. I just observe.
It would drive me insane and distract me from saving children's lives. That type of thing.
Let's have a look at the next image.
Or it's self-control.
Yeah. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, let's have a look at the next image. All right, so these I pulled these off of here. I just, and I'm not a jerk, so I kind of like go through and I'm like, all right, this is the question that was posed on this particular group. Has anyone on here ever had a child with a whooping cough? Or have you tried some natural remedies that worked? My daughter was exposed to some children at school that had it, and we don't vaccinate. The school didn't warn parents, which is pretty frustrating. Is it now?
They did warn you. They told you you had to do it.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
I have.
nobody
I
needs
think
to
I
see a
would read
child
the
with
comment.
pertussis anymore.
I know
Okay.
it's all preventable and irritating. So somebody says something about Suzanne Humphrey's vitamin C protocol for pertussis, because
Yep.
the vitamin C protocol for pertussis is completely going to help you with whooping cough.
Yep.
and then
Totally bogus. 100%
Yeah.
fucking bogus. Excuse me.
My daughter had pertussis at a little over a year old. We didn't do much besides comfort her. She didn't act phased. Just a bad cough and fever, lots of steamy bathroom hanging out, and boob. I don't know what
Excellent.
that means.
I'm assuming breast milk.
Boobs. I guess breast milk. I've not,
Yeah.
maybe boobs
Naturally
are the cure
acquired
to
passive
everything.
immunity.
Maybe,
Yeah.
I
You know,
know certain people
breast milk.
think boobs
There
cure
are
everything. So
there are worse things, but that's great. Your kid didn't die. I'm really happy for you. Lots of them do, and I'm not happy about that. So, yeah.
So a lot of people were saying, hey, check out Suzanne, what's her face? All right. I think we have a tweet now. This comes, okay. So this is a tweet. Soon coming to California and every state where mandatory vaccination laws are passed so they can cover up the harmed children. This is genocide, my friends. That's the real name.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So this
That's why
person
infant mortality, genocide, infant mortality drops coincident with access to pediatric vaccines. So if we're doing genocide, we're doing it very badly wrong. And we've been doing it wrong for about 150 years.
people are
Sorry.
People are people.
So
In
I
Australia,
like the
they
response,
opened,
though.
yeah, it's like in Australia, they opened vaccine clinics specializing in pediatric resuscitation. That's where vulnerable kids are expected to go for their shots now. All medical, religious, and philosophical objections are removed. So, I mean,
Yeah.
if you're allergic, okay, to be fair, my brother is allergic to anything to do with chickens. So there's certain things he cannot get certain vaccinations, particularly if they're bred out of eggs, because he will develop anaphylactic shock. So he can't do certain vaccinations for that reason. That's completely different than the
Right.
situation, you know. And my sister
And
has AI disease. She can't get certain vaccinations for that reason. And so it's like these people who are completely capable of being vaccinated who are like, well, you know, all of these issues and stuff and things. And I'm like, I have half a mind to go, if my brother or my sister gets some kind of communicable disease that was completely controlled through vaccination from somebody who could have been vaccinated, if they die from that, I feel like we should sue them for everything to say, you know what? They didn't have that choice. That was not a choice that they could make for themselves.
Right.
comment about the response there. Any clinic treating kids with anything should be prepared to resuscitate kids. So clinics specializing in resuscitation, no, that never happened. But the capacity to resuscitate is a really kind of good thing for your doctor's office to have, because people respond differently. I had a vaccine once and I went into, a kind of fit. It was a weird passive one where, that kind of thing is more likely. Never happened again. Didn't happen before. One-off thing. And I'm glad I was in a place where I could be looked after. So, yeah, specializing in resuscitation, rather, all of them do.
Oh my goodness. We have lots of different anti-vaxxer things. Let me see. There was one question, and we don't have to throw this up, Bull. One question from a new member of this particular group. It says, guys, my 6-week-old son had already gotten the first round of Hep B and a vitamin K shot before we started researching this stuff. Those two have already happened.
Yeah,
Yeah, so it's
vitamin K,
what
not a vaccine, and a Hep B vaccine at 6 weeks old when you don't have an adaptive immune system doesn't sound particularly accurate.
it's probably not. No. So this particular member, so if you go through the next series of responses, there's all of the different ways you can detox from the vaccine. And so they have why detox baths are important for kids. So you can have detox baths, guys. They reduce inflammation, regulate enzyme activity. That's new. Increase immune function by sitting in a tub of water with salt in it, I guess. Improve absorption of nutrients, relax the nervous system and muscle fibers, promote a good night's sleep. So all of these things are like the check marks that they have there. And so this is how they say how to give a detox bath. First, you want to draw a hot bath. Not too hot. Are you sure? Make the bath as deep as possible. Use common sense, safety precautions with kids. Common sense. That's not getting them anywhere, really.
The cringe. Try bubbles.
If you're-
Babies like bubbles. And toys. Toys in the bath improve enzyme activity as well.
I have superhero. I have superhero ducks. I do. I have a Wonder Woman duck and a Superman and a Batman. I also have a Joker because I need balance. So anyway, if your water isn't filtered, you need to neutralize the chemicals. So you need to neutralize chemicals. How do you neutralize the water, Bull? The next picture. You get a crystal ball bath dechlorinator. It's good for 200 whole baths, or a teaspoon of vitamin C powder. Who knew that vitamin C powder was just as awesome as a crystal ball bath?
Wait a minute. So ascorbic acid de-woos your water. Is that right?
Way better than a crystal ball bath. Did you know? You learned something today, Doc. I'm so glad you're here. You have to let it sit for 2 to 5 minutes so to really work to get rid of the chlorine.
Yeah.
And then you mix
Who came up
Epsom
with this
salt.
shit? Somebody had to write this down.
Let's see how
That's
much
the
of this you
point.
pulled right out.
Okay. So apparently bentonite clay is a new thing. bentonite clay. Bentonite clay binds to chemicals, because all chemicals are bad. It includes it binds to heavy metals and removes them.
Yeah. It does those things. It's a chelator, or it has chelation properties, and it will basically strip out the inner lining of your stomach and intestines. It's basically what it does if you eat it,
maybe
because
don't-
it's
don't
clay,
eat that.
you idiot.
So it's like chili juice. Gotcha.
Yeah, pretty
okay.
much.
If
So
you
don't
want
give it to your
explosive
6-week.
diarrhea,
Yeah, don't feed your 6-week-old child dirt, you morons.
So there's all these detox bath recipes. The next picture is like a baking soda or vitamin C powder because they're interchangeable for reasons. And then you have a half a cup of Epsom salt or magnesium flakes because you can go to Walgreens or any other chemist.
What?
As if
Magnesium
that.
added to water? That's not good.
Hey, no more problems.
Not gonna worry about magnesium, just no worries whatsoever. At least it wasn't pure metal sodium or potassium for that reason. That'll completely annihilate everything.
I love the warning at the bottom. Don't use soap or soap products because that'll really ruin the effects. I'll screw it right up.
It'll wash off all of that.
Oh
No, you have to let the woo soak in for a while.
Oh my god. So yeah, that's essentially some of the stupid things that I've seen on the internet with this particular group of individuals. We do have a video of a woman talking about detoxifying after vaccinations, but I don't know if we have time for that. It's like well past pumpkin hour for you, Doc.
Yeah, I really do have to sign out, guys, but it has been a great deal of fun speaking with you, and thank you to all the wonderful audience. Give Mel all of your money. Do it now. Do it now.
And get vaccinated.
Yeah.
Boost your immune system through vaccines, not through woo and taking baths in Epsom salt with extra
Hey, there's a
magnesium
crystal in there.
flakes.
Just not soap.
There's some alkali metals in your bath. It's completely fine. Just skip the alkaline earth metals altogether. Throw some francium in there and let me know what happens. No, please don't do that. Don't do that. increases reactivity the further down you go, but whatever, you know. Stuff and things.
I was thinking gallium just for fun.
You know, for a good heyday, throw some gallium in your bath water, you know, just to see what happens. Gallium metal, right? Be certain to live stream it on YouTube, you know, so we can see the product.
You'll be dead in about 5 seconds in pieces.
Not a good thing to do at all.
Well, folks, sayonara. It has been a great deal of fun again. Well, thank you so much, Mel and guest. Been fantastic.
Thanks. You too.
So, Dr. Stephen, tell everybody where they can find you.
You can find me on Twitter. That's my only way to get here. So Twitter is Dr. Stephen Hobbs. If you have any questions, please feel free to send them to me. I'll be happy to answer those the best I can.
All right. And so for Doc Savage and myself, thank you so much for being here, and we will see you next time on Worldacity. Bye.
Bye.
I absolutely adore Doc.
Because I have testicles for some reason.